Welcome back, guys. Today is Monday, April 10th, here at the meeting room where TGIFJ is hosting their live first interview session with Christian Ragland. Now, you guys know that this is the meeting room and what takes place, right? If not, we are a creative workstation studio. You guys can come in, drink a cup of coffee, read some books, use the Wi-Fi. We have live sessions for the community to come together and just to get to know each other, see what's going on our calendar. So just if you guys don't know, you can always go to TGIFJ and themeetingroom.com and just check it out. So for our first live session here at the meeting room, if you have any questions, any comments to ask Christian Ragland, please jot it down and they will get to your answers. But for no more delays, because I know the time has passed, but it's all good. Now, live at the meeting room for our first session with TGIFJ. Are you guys ready? Because I am. Come on. Hi guys. So we're here with Christian Ragland, where they're gonna do an interview with him live. So if you have any questions, please jot them down for him and he will get to them. Here you guys go.
Hey guys, here we are. We're a little bit late, it's 6:23, but thank you for joining us. We're gonna wait a few minutes and hope to build an audience. But again, we have Christian Ragland and we're gonna be having a chat. So I just want you to come on in, come on over. If you are in FC, can stop by, but if you come in, shh, we're right in the front. And if not, just tune in. So let me get my questions together, so we'll chat for a few minutes.
Hopefully I ain't got no ratchet family member that's gonna come over.
I mean, it's all good if they come over.
With McDonald's in their hand.
I'm gonna be like, well, stop right there. No McDonald's allowed. We have snacks in the back. But
yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's good times, you know?
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
for creativity and innovation, especially when it comes to the body. But like you said, I love it. I think it's funny, and I love that people actually are starting to consider that you can be churchy and be no good, be a no God. Well, it's like the Bible says, having zeal and according to no knowledge, having the form of godliness but denying the power thereof.
So I'm excited about what's happening in the body, though. I mean, seriously excited about what's going on in the body. I mean, we just have to be about the Father's business at the end of the day.
Simple.
Yeah, that's it. So we're just gonna take a few more seconds. This is Mike, my son that's here. This is his art. This is from this is the original, and some of these have you could get a print. So when we're done, I'll just walk you around to the shop so you can
Who
see.
did the MLK one?
Him.
Yeah, MLK is my man.
Yeah, he did that one as well. So the art is either my daughter Taisha, she has Capture Your Destiny, and then my son Michael, he has Eternal Art. And then my husband's a builder, but his passion is furniture, so he makes, so some of the pieces that you see in here, they're his pieces. Like these easels.
He made these?
Yeah, because we have art classes here. So it's just convenient sometimes, people purchase the bigger canvases, so they need something bigger, because a big canvas sitting on a table, that doesn't work. Yeah.
So you do everything one-stop shop?
Yeah, so it's like my kids always say, this is a place where you get your creative juices flowing.
How long does it take him to put something like that together?
It all depends. He could start this, walk away from it, start working on a website, come back and kind of paint over the face, and I'm like, wait, what happened? You never know what's going on with this art. But let's get this started. Again, welcome. We're here today on TGIFJ, Back and Better. We're on TGIFJ.com. We're also on Facebook. As you can see, we're on Facebook Live. I believe we also have an Instagram. I'm not sure, but we'll definitely have a link on the bottom as well as on YouTube. We're here live at the meeting room on 134 New Jersey Avenue, Absecon, New Jersey. You can go on our Facebook and get more information. But right now, let's get to it. With me is Christian Ragland, and I'm glad that you're here.
I'm glad to be here too.
And I'm so excited.
I love questions.
After we talked for a little while the other day, I went home and I'm like, what am I going to ask him about? I'm like, but tell me a little bit about yourself, or tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
So, again, my name is Christian Dupree. I always like to say my middle name, Dupree Ragland.
Okay.
I'm 28 years old, native of South Jersey, Egg Harbor City, to be specific. Married 2 years in May.
Oh, nice.
May 2nd. And then I have a beautiful baby girl who's 5 months.
What's her name?
Mariah
Woo!
Kansas Ragland.
Kansas, that's so cute.
My dad came up with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they was trying to do. I had to be.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I
want to know.
Foot down because they wanted the name to be Kansas Mariah. I was just like, listen, it's Mariah. But
That's cute.
she 5 months, so she's been a great blessing to my wife and I. Father's a pastor. I have that typical PK story, which I don't need to get into. But yeah, just family man, and just whatever I can do to help.
Tell me a little bit about school.
School, the highlight of my life now. So I went to Absecon High School, 2007 graduate. Funny story is I always wanted to go to Princeton University.
Okay.
I was like Carlton off of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And that was me. Like
I could see you.
Yeah. I did it all. I tried to reenact everything to get to Princeton. If you were to go to my locker in high school, you would see every year I would dress up my locker with Princeton stuff every year.
Wow.
Because I was one of them people. I had to see myself there. I had to, in order for me to get excited about going, I had to kind of attach myself to it. So, long story short, in April I got my rejection letter from Princeton. And they must have knew me because they sent me two. Because I would have still shown up with one rejection letter.
That must have been fun.
Yeah, but ended up going to Penn State University, the one and only Pennsylvania State University.
Okay.
Which I'm glad to God that He did mark my path to go there, because I had a great time there, life-changing experiences, but also, most importantly, I believe my faith was increased.
Oh, that's awesome.
4 years. So, but went to Pennsylvania State University, 2011 graduate, a bachelor's degree in political science. As I was sharing with you, God blessed me to be student body president at Penn State, over 44,000 people meeting.
Wow. I
had the opportunity to meet President Obama, had a meeting with him. I had the opportunity to meet state officials, celebrities, all type of things, and it was an awesome experience. And I'll tell a little bit about that in a second, but my master's degree in public administration and government relations. So I am a guy who can talk all day about policies and opinions and community development. But back to Penn State, my freshman year I got there, and you know what I appreciate about my parents, who I love dearly. My father raised us to be, he said, I'm raising you to be children with the love of Christ in your heart. Mother was the disciplinary to some extent.
I get that. That's how it is at our house.
But so my freshman year at college, I was cool. I wasn't that kid that needed to go buck wild. Like, you have kids who, a lot of times people think pastors' kids or preachers' kids are sheltered. But one of the things our parents did, they made us be social, so that it was never a difference. There was, no matter where we went, we were not looking for anything that we thought we would starve from growing up. So I got to college, I wasn't looking for that college experience because I had lived a good life so far. I didn't need that. So
would you say that you were raised that whatever happened at home, or should I say everything started at home?
Everything started at home.
Okay, so that made a difference.
Everything. Listen, you know what I love too? My parents didn't let us do whatever we wanted, right? We couldn't go over everybody's house. We couldn't be everywhere, but what I love about my parents, they gave us options. I think a lot of times parents say you can't do this, that, and the third, but don't never give any options. you can't go to that person's house, but let's you and I go somewhere.
And it's funny that you say that because with my kids, I used to sometimes give them both my options. But when you tell them you choose,
Yeah.
it empowers them.
Exactly.
So I used to do the same thing to them, like, okay, you can go there,
Mhm.
but if you can do, we can go here,
Uh-huh.
or we can do this at home. So that's definitely
It's
very
long,
important.
and I felt that's what gave us the well-roundedness about our family, and I loved it, because like I said, it kept me grounded. I didn't need a lot of attention. I didn't need to go away to seek attention like unfortunately some kids do. So I got to college and I was chill. I was the kid. Everybody thought I was older than I was because I was just a real chill kid. So freshman year was good time, but then sophomore year came. And I hit a lot of stumbling blocks.
So before you continue, something that comes to
Mhm.
mind, a lot of times when people get to college,
Mhm.
when they're not grounded,
Mm-hmm.
in their belief system,
Mhm.
a lot of times things go out the door the
Mhm.
minute that they get there. But from what I hear you saying already, that's not how it was for you.
No. If anything, God, it wasn't even sophomore year that I was hitting obstacles because God hated me or anything like that. It was almost like God was like, let me see what you know.
That's cute because
Yeah.
God didn't hate you.
Yeah.
Never.
Because some people would think like, why me? Why do I have to go through this? And they take that to a negative approach, right? Where they think like, oh, God is making this happen, or they sometimes people say, oh, it's the enemy. But I honestly know in my heart it was a period because when I first got to campus freshman year, I told God my parents left the dorm room, right? And we had our emotional time, right? I'll never forget August 22nd, I believe, 2007. I said to God, all right, God, it's me and you now. That was it. Because, I was looking forward to college because I wanted to develop my own relationship too.
So you were not one of those that you're ready to get out of the house so you can cut up?
Listen,
I'm gonna go party.
No.
No?
10 years, let's go back, let's go look at 2012, right? I came back home, got my first job after college, and I came back home. I loved being at home with my family. My father had to tell me to leave. No, real talk. He told me. I remember when I was in the gym, and I got one of those memories of every milestone. I'll never forget. I was in the gym getting my workout on. My dad hit me with the, listen, you might want to get your own place. And that hurt. I was like, what did I do?
It was after college?
Oh, yeah.
It's time to go.
Yeah, it's time for me to go. And so I, in my, I said, oh, yeah, I just want to kick me out. I immediately found a place, like trying to prove them a point, but didn't know that I was doing exactly what they wanted me to do.
But it's important, realizing that in raising kids, and now that you're a dad, your experiences, a lot of times we think that giving them everything is helping them. But really, really what's important is like they did with you, they gave you choices, which encourage you to grow and mature.
Exactly.
By making responsibilities, which in turn prepared you for the real world.
Healthy choices.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you said, they gave choices that they already knew what the outcome would be.
Yes, excellent.
There was no guessing. But so anyway, so college was good. So I get to my sophomore year, and like I said, I told God my freshman year that this is me and you now. I know for the past couple of years I've been talking about how I feel like I'm only in church because I'm being forced to be in church, right? Because Sunday morning we always in church. Even if I wanted to be there or not, there was no choice in that regard. But I said, God, this is me and you now. I'm looking forward to you and I developing this, and I know it's only me and you. And I never forget, I'm a musician, so I never forget. I had a couple friends tell me, hey, there's some girls that want to see you. And I said, word? All right.
Okay.
And,
now real college life is showing up.
I said, I'm excited about that. But I said, all right. So where they at? They said, come to this suite. And so in my mind, I'm like, yo, that's the sorority suite that I always be looking at, right? So they said, come to the basement.
Like
so they said, come to the basement. I was like, we come to the basement? Oh, this is getting real. I'm with it. And I get to the basement, it was the gospel choir. And they said, we heard you play the drums. I said, who said that? Like, who told y'all? Like, because I was trying to, I thought you were, I was like, man. But anyway, get involved in that my freshman year. And it was awesome because every Friday they had rehearsal, but it wasn't like rehearsal or church. It was a social. We sang, I played, they laughed, they joked, they cried, they testified. And so for a young freshman, I'm looking at these older guys. I'm like, wow, these people make look like it's cool. They had swag to them. These were student leaders. These were athletes. And so it was awesome. So with that being said, I believe when I got to my sophomore year, like I said, things took a different turn that I was not expecting.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna say. Like, talk to me about some challenges that you have overcome.
So, sophomore year, imagine you having a great freshman year, and then in June of that same year, when you go into your sophomore year, they say you don't have housing. Okay. So the first thing you tell you when you lose your housing, you're not going to be able to find it for a whole other year. And so I was devastated. Because I'm like, I need to get back to college. I had such a good time. So they have housing, right? So that was something. So all summer long, I'm stressing and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get back to house. Okay. I ended up staying with a friend, and my dad jokes all the time. Like he says, yeah, we had to drop Christian off at the dumpster because we didn't know where he lived.
In Philly?
No, not in Philly. Oh no, I would have went back home if it was Philly. Okay. I'm okay. But it was in Penn State, and stayed with a friend. Got involved in an organization that wasn't good for me. Got into a relationship with somebody who, we just call it what it is, unequally yoked, who, interesting enough, brought out some things in me that I didn't know I had that I needed to deal with.
So you actually finally get to sophomore year and you begin to experience things that most young adults begin to experience in college. And as a believer, if I can use that word, you get with someone that doesn't have the same belief system as you. So how that goes, because you pride yourself in being a believer.
You know, I pride myself in being the believer who is, as we talked earlier, not so churchy and not so traditional. But
what do you mean by churchy? And let me tell you why I say that, because one time I used that word and the person that I used it with was offended, and I understood why. You know, the churches are called out, and when we use that term, so you're using that term, quote unquote.
We're called to be godly, not churchy.
Okay.
And I hear that all the time when people get offended. I don't understand, because I don't live every day to be like the church. The church is in me. The church, I am the body. I'm a part of the body of Christ. I think a lot of times people wrap themselves in that concept of being churchy, right? That's an identity for them. And that's the problem why the body of Christ is not where it needs to be today, because we locked ourselves in an identity that reflects everything but what it's supposed to reflect.
Because our identity is supposed to reflect Jesus.
We made in his image, Genesis.
Amen. So tell me a little bit more about your little mishap.
Yeah, listen, I'm an open book. So I met this girl, and
don't be trying to put it all on her either.
No.
Okay.
Listen, it gets better. The story gets better. It's not even, so I said housing. I didn't have housing going in sophomore year, which is extremely stressful. I lost scholarships because I was stressed out and I wasn't going to class. I was a part of things that I shouldn't have been a part of.
Oh, so you started acting a fool?
No, I was acting a fool. No. I wasn't acting a fool. I had more. I just was really in a, if I could say it, almost like a Job season where I started seeing things leave, and I couldn't figure out why.
So you were having a real life experience.
That's
That's what life is like.
That's all it is.
As kids, you know, mom and dad handle everything, but when you get to real life, sometimes we have challenges, and God still loves us through those.
Exactly. So I, throughout all those obstacles, losing all those different things, I thought the thing that I had left was that relationship, right? And so I used to put all my eggs in the basket in that relationship, but I knew it was wrong because she didn't believe, she didn't have the same conviction and things in my beliefs and my faith. So I never forget November that year. I came home and I'm looking crazy, right? And no hair, cut all that stuff. And I called the Marines. I said, listen, I'm dramatic too. I'm one of them people. I said, God, nothing working, so I'm just gonna drop my yeah. And I called the Marines. I said, I'm coming home for Thanksgiving break, get my papers. And it was only like, I was like, shut up, right? Stop being dramatic. I get back to my second year, sophomore year, and things start changing, right? But it had to change. I'm gonna tell you why I know it changed. Because at the end of that semester, I finally yielded and said, God, I don't know what's going on, but I surrender. I said, I don't know if this was something that grow me. Was it supposed to grow my faith? Was it supposed to be something so you show me that, listen, Christian, you can't depend on your intellect? That was another thing, too. I realized also when I got to college that I thought I was this supreme intellectual being, that I was going to over-intellectualize everything. So I really thought it was me.
So you was a little bit more dependent
I
on
was
you than
dependent on me,
anything else.
yes. And I believe that experience of sophomore year was to kind of check me, to allow me to see, listen, you ain't nothing. I got you here.
So were you think that, would you say that you weren't walking in humility at all?
Nope,
at that
I
time?
wasn't. That's exactly what, I cringe to this day when I think back that was the issue. I was telling my wife that the other day. You ever think back of something you used to do and you're like,
Yes.
That's what it was. I realized that there was an arrogance about me. There was a lack of humility about me. And that I had to go through those things to see who my source and provider was.
So do you think that there's a difference between, or what do you think is the difference between pride and confidence? Like, how can you see the difference or express the difference?
So, okay. I'm going to fast forward. Let me just say this. So, graduated Penn State, all those things are good and learn it. I get into another relationship. And this person, completely unequally. Matter of fact, it was a setup. I'm not going to name the person who messed me up, but the person who hooked me up with this person said, oh, she's a great God-fearing woman, and she's on the choir.
And you miss
false.
God. And you miss God.
False. It was false. And anyway, so I get into this relationship, right? And I realized that there were some things in me that was coming out that was not godly, right?
So just for a sidebar, the only reason that you choose to accept in your life is because you have some issues.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah. I probably allowed that to happen because I didn't deal with some issues that I had.
Yeah, because
So-
at the end of the day, it's your choice.
So going back to pride and to confidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got in this relationship and I made this person feel like I was God's gift to her because my pride and my arrogance and my confidence. Let me tell you where it came from now. As we were talking about earlier about parenting, imagine, and I was explaining to my wife, I said, imagine I am a young man who's being groomed for success. From day one, I got both my parents who are speaking in my ear, you're going to be successful. You're going to be a God-fearing man. You're going to be a straight-A student. You're going to go to college. So as these things are happening, what do you think is happening to me? My head, okay. So I get into a relationship, and now, anytime there's something wrong, I'm not looking at me. I'm looking at her. And so, finally, I'll never forget, she started saying things like emotionally abusive. And I'm like, and I'm getting offended because like, nobody's abusing you, nothing. But then you start looking at it, when you start making people feel like they are nothing and you systematically do it every day, in a place where, and I'm not saying like I was yelling and screaming, but sometimes when people feel like they can't be who they want to be around you, they revert to being somebody else.
I really appreciate that you bring that up. I think that's such an important point because I think it's something that's not touched. And I think I come from an abusive or abused past. And I think that a lot of times we demean, what abuse is. We make it less than what it is. But it's interesting that you point out something that's really important, that not allowing somebody the freedom that is theirs, it is a form of abuse. But it's very interesting that you can acknowledge and even recognize, because that's not spoken about. You're the man. You're the smart one. You got it going on, so you could do that. But we are, as God's creation, there's a freedom that we have to choose. And, it's our responsibility to encourage, to help mold, to groom, to grow others. It's not just me, but it's us. So, that's a really good point that you bring up.
Yeah, I had to learn because I remember going to God at the end of that relationship saying, God, I don't want to be in this relationship no more. And I heard someone say, you know, God sometimes has to make the executive decision in your life because you may be too emotionally attached to make it. So I never forget one day I said to God, make the executive decision. I don't want to be at. And so in my mind, how I thought this was going to play out was I was going to make this decision, right? I'm like, so God, just give me the words of how you want me to let her down. You know, she's sensitive. Tell me how you want me to do it. And next thing you know, she's letting me go. And I'm like, whoa, that's not how it's supposed to go. Like in my mind. And I'll never forget. One of my last conversations was, and it kind of messed me up a little. She said, "I'm glad God was able to use me." And I'm like, you talk about you the devil, like you talk about God used you, right? But then I looked and I said to myself, I apologize for allowing who I think I am to potentially impact the walk of somebody else. I wasn't a good example.
That's excellent. That's really good.
That's what it was.
That's
and so,
really good.
With that being said, so 6 months later. So throughout 6 months, God was dealing with me about relationships and just me. And like, God, how can I be a husband? How can I be a good father? How can I be an example? And so for 6 months, I was dealing with me, right? And in the midst of those 6 months, I was also given opportunities to teach Bible studies, and I even did stuff at Stockton about emotional abuse and how men, we need to recognize. And I wasn't even talking about the people that the world considers abuse. I was talking about people like me who had the good home, who had the father who was raising him right. But I was saying there are a lot of men like me who've been told their whole lives that they are great and they're good, and people have been speaking confidence into them, and sometimes that confidence can turn into controlling tendencies.
We can really have a long conversation just about that, but just to go back for a second, and I need you guys to keep track of my time, because this is getting good. But you know, it's important to just, you know, as a parent, that it's our jobs, you know, to encourage, to mold, to lift up, you know, because there's a lot of derogatory things out here now, you know, and there's a lot of things. I'm a mom of 6, and there's a lot of things that come to tear down our children. Therefore, as parents, it's our responsibility to build up. But what would you think, or what would be a good way, you know, to say this will bring more balance? Did I just throw you off?
No. I think about this all the time. You know, and I may be a little biased because I'm going from the context of how I was raised.
Okay.
In my family, this is what I saw. I saw 2 parents who were working together but had different roles. They never tried to impede on each other's roles. Meaning, my mother didn't try to be my father, and my father didn't try to be my mother. So when you're starting with balance, that's the first thing. That means I need to know who my father is and who my mother is. Second, I think there needs to be a teamwork effort in regards to parenting to bring balance. That's what you asked the question, right? So what I always saw my parents working hand in hand. We never saw them argue. Even if they were frustrated, even like any natural person can be, we never saw that. Matter of fact, we had a rule in our house. We couldn't yell. Nobody could yell in the house. You couldn't close your door. And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Like,
what's going on with y'all?
Yeah, like, but I'm grateful because what it did, it created a safe space. And so there was a balance. Now, that doesn't make for perfect kids or perfect people, but at least I was able to draw back.
And you know, you say that, and my mind is going, because everybody doesn't share that sentiment. But, you know, something that I want to interject here, you know, for whoever's listening, that as we go forth, we're going to make it our business to try to, you know, bring forth people that share different perspectives, because in my family, we're yellers. I'm a yeller. My mom was a yeller. But if you talk to my kids, you know, they're very strong foundationally. And, you know, I wish that I would have probably grown up in one of those type of homes, although that probably would have been strange because I'm tough. Well, I'm a tough cat. So
I think some people, and I don't know the extent of my parents. I mean, I do, but you know, some people may, and I'm just speaking in general, some people may have those type of sentiments because they don't want to relive what they had, right? So like, there may be things that I don't want to see in my household, so I do things differently. And I think that's the beauty of just life in general. You can make your own decisions. You can choose based off of what you know and based off the context and the subject matter of how you were raised. You can kind of pick and choose what worked for you and what didn't, and then you create your own family.
Yeah, and it's awesome, as the word tells us, that we can seek counsel, and that's really important because times are changing, and times are changing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that were done that you can't do now. Although, I told my kids, I'm the boss here. And if you think somebody could do it better, then go ahead. Nobody's going to dictate what's going on in my home. And, every family does it their way. And, I just want to, express that it works differently for different families. Everybody comes from different backgrounds. In my home, we do it this way. In your home, they did it that way. I don't come from one of those amazing backgrounds. If I was to sit here and tell you my background, you wouldn't believe. Like, when you look at my background, stereotypically, I should be dead. You know what I'm saying? So different things work, for different people. But at the end of the day, it has to do with, committing your time and your love, to your family members and doing the best that you can. And I'm not going to say with what you have, because sometimes what we have is not enough.
No.
So that's why we need other
counsel.
other people to help us, get all of the ingredients to make this successful. And one thing that I find now, and it's awesome that you have such an awesome support system within your family. But everybody doesn't have that.
No.
So it's important that that we're sensitive to those around us.
I'm glad you said that. You know what I started saying to myself? At least I try to say it every day. Christian, be aware of your privilege.
That's good.
I try to say it every day. You know why? Because I find myself sometimes, and this is being transparent, looking at people and seeing and getting upset that they're doing things that I wouldn't do. But that's coming from a place of privilege. What is that privilege? I had someone to tell me not to do that. And so I have to every day tell myself, Christian, be mindful of your privilege. And even in my workplace, what I do, I'm an operations manager.
Good place to put that in.
So I deal with different types of people. My job is, I work with refugee, immigrant populations that are looking for work. I work in the communities and job fairs and do things to find people work. And I always find myself meeting people who I'm disappointed in because they're not where they're supposed to be. But then I have to go and check myself and say, Christian, well, how would you be if you had their life?
Wow.
So I'm glad you said we have to be sensitive to how people are brought up, and I'm learning that every day, because the last thing we want to be is judgmental.
Definitely, absolutely, and I think that is really important. If especially people that have had the privileges that you had, that we are mindful of realizing that we are our brother's keeper. And if we're going to make a difference, then we can't lock ourselves, in our little boxes. Because I find that today, people, I'm going to put it like that, we seem to put ourselves in these little corners, and I'm going to just handle what's going on in my corner.
Yeah.
And I think that we can't continue to allow ourselves to go that way. Because, when we were younger, it wasn't like that. What is my cousin doing? What is my aunt? What's my uncle? That, what's my neighbor? Everybody was helping everybody.
Exactly.
And I'm not, that old, that I come from way back. I was growing up, in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? In the early 80s. But, now you don't see that a lot. So I think it's a good place to say that we have to be mindful to realize what we have and to, help somebody, even if it's a positive word, even if it's, like you did with those young boys that you saw, near your community. Here's a couple of dollars. Go get something to eat. Even if they want it for foolishness. But at least
they saw somebody who was willing.
And you have there an opportunity to say, listen, guys, you know, and just take a minute to just impart something. So I think that's really important. But you know, it's important that we have these dialogues because a lot of times in talking we remember.
Yeah.
You know, it brings things to our remembrance. Because like you said, when you live a certain way, you tend to just put yourself in that box. This is the way that I live. You know what I'm saying? So now you've graduated from college.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, you have a wife. What's your wife's name?
Christina. Christian and Christina.
Wow, that's just crazy. How perfect.
Yeah.
So briefly tell me, cause we have a couple minutes, maybe.
How we met?
A few minutes. But tell me a little bit about Christina.
Okay. So I met Christina. I was asked to teach a Bible study on young adult Bible study, and my topic was boo loving with the wrong person. And
boo loving
with the wrong. That was how I interpret life at the time. So yeah, so I didn't go there. I didn't know her. I wasn't intending to meet my wife, but it was cool. And I met her, and we started off. So you know, typical social media stuff. So I went home and found her on Facebook. And I stalked her for
I'm an asker.
Yeah, I did. So for 2 months we played the game of like one picture, I like your picture. You like 2 pictures, I like your 2 pictures. And then finally, I said August 20th was her birthday, so I said happy birthday. And then from there, conversation started, and Labor Day weekend, I was already making date plans. And then from there, it kicked off. Never looked back. Now, the cool thing was, she lived in Jersey City, so I would travel 200 miles each way, 400 miles in a week, and then go get her, see her, have a day with her, then send her, go back home. And that was also awesome, too, because as she graduated, she's a Rutgers graduate, and she got a master's degree from NYU in psychology.
Wow.
So she's
pretty impressive.
She psychoanalyzes me.
She's a smart one, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. She don't take a mess. But yeah, so we met and we grew together, not just together in God. I would say we loved our faith. We loved ministry. She came down here, relocated to career opportunity down here. We got married May 2nd, 2015. We just been growing. It hasn't been perfect. The best part is we're learning each other.
Wow.
Again, we can talk this all day, but you got 2 people who came from 2 different family dynamics, or 2 different environments. She's from Jersey City. The hood, I'm just going to say it, and I'm from Ann Arbor City, suburbia.
You're Mr. Thai guy.
Yeah. I showed up at her house one time in full suit, and I told her, I said, these guys came up to me asking me if I was from around here, and me being all friendly, and I was talking to them. She's like, you don't talk to people like that. They checking you out. They trying to size you up. I'm like, well, listen, at this point, they can, I don't really care. They can have my time. But yeah, it's been good. And like I said, I came back home from college to do ministry. I declined law school, got accepted in law school, and I had an epiphany. I said, I want to help my father in ministry, whatever that meant. I didn't mean to be a preacher or a minister or whatever it was. I wanted to help. So came back home, and I'm glad God brought me back home. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. So now you're basically working in ministry, but this was a real pleasure to have you.
Pleasure. It's more than a pleasure for me.
We'll probably have you back because I'm thinking I really would like to discuss some things about young men.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we're gonna continue to have these interviews, and we'll formulate some questions. Hopefully our audience will ask you some questions. I know some people probably think, oh, he's a goody two-shoe, but I'm sure in order for you to have stayed in your vein and stay faithful and not really get sidetracked.
Oh, sure. I mean, there's some nitty-gritty about my life that we need more than 20 minutes.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think to your point, I think something that I'm growing to be passionate about is a lot of times when we talk about men in our community, we automatically go to the stereotypical bad guy.
Yes.
There are some people like myself who have issues too, real issues that we have to work through. But it doesn't get the attention because It doesn't need to be right now. And you, like you said, in the world is changing. You got men who don't know how to be men, who disrespect women, who don't know how to be fathers, who don't. So.
And just all fairness, you know, a lot of times it's because no one has taken the time. Because I say this all the time, you can't get out of someone what's not in there.
Exactly.
So it's men like you, you know, and other men that will be bringing on, you know, on TGIFJ to help mold and instruct. But I thank you again, Christian, for coming. I'm definitely gonna have you back in the not so near future, but definitely I do want to formulate, you know, further questions and greater conversations, and you know, who knows where we will go from here. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you out there, you guys. TGIFJ.com. Check out our website, and just keep updated on our Facebook Live sometimes, or just our post regarding our upcoming interviews and so on and so forth. But on April the 24th, be looking for Les Tomlinson. He's local from the South Jersey area. He's an author, he's a businessman, husband, father. You're gonna wanna definitely tune in. If you have any more questions for Christian Ragland, please post them below. I'm sure he'll be looking and answering whatever questions. You know, and even if you want to come at his neck, that's what we say.
Listen,
and he can answer
show you some hood stuff too.
Yeah, I'm sure he can handle it. But thank you again for tuning in. And you know, we have to keep it live over here. We have to keep it live. But thank you so much. And we'll also be putting these videos up on YouTube, and we'll give you the links on our Facebook page. So thank you again, and I'll see you guys April the 24th with Les Tomlinson, author, businessman, and family man. Thanks again for joining us.
Thanks guys for joining in to TGIFJ's first live session with Christian Ragland's testimony. Now guys, do you understand what TGIFJ is stand for? Thank God I follow Jesus. So guys, we are here to serve you, to help you. As a matter of fact, we all need help. I need help. So if you have any questions or comments below, please hit us below. Are you here to serve Christ? Do you need help with your walk with Christ? Did anybody force you to go to church? Are you depending on God? Just to answer any questions, guys, go on the bottom and write out your questions, because guys, we're here to serve you, and we need help as well. I need help. So I want to say thank you guys for tuning in and joining us, and I hope to see you guys back here April 24th at the meeting room. Thank God I follow Jesus. Ciao.